Hello, my name is Olga Prykhodko. I've been dancing and singing salsa for many years. While I was traveling a lot, participating in numerous dance and music events around the world, I met stars in the world salsa community, whom I would like to introduce in my new project called Social Talks. I will be interviewing famous people and representatives of Latin American culture, and they will share their experience. They will tell about their ups and downs, and of course, they will inspire you. Subscribe to our channel Universo Latino on YouTube and other social networks and find a lot of interesting and useful information. Get closer to the stars who inspire you. Salsa unites people. Hello dear friends, my name is Olga Prykhodko. This is Social Talks on Universo Latino channel. I'm very glad to see you here right now. Thank you for joining us. Hope you are healthy and you have a nice and good mood and high spirits. Today we have a very special guest. We have a very extraordinary person, my good friend, explicit outstanding dancer and a musician, Mr. Alexis Ruiz.
Hello everybody. I hope all are safe and I'm very glad to be here and so nice to see you, Olga. It has been a long time. So I'm very glad and very happy that you invited me to join in Universo Latino. So I'm very glad to be here. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm in Kiev and you are in London, as far as I know. How
Correct.
is the weather in London? How do you feel yourself in London?
Welcome to London. London is the capital of Great Britain, as you may know. For
Yes. I know it
Russian-speaking
from my
friends, you might
childhood.
know that. Yes, I mean, the weather actually has been quite good these days. I mean, you have this stereotypical, image that, is always foggy and cold. But, how ironically, during the pandemic, it has been amazing weather, a few days already, like super sunny. So, yeah, I cannot complain. It's good.
Very good. Alexis, thank you for being here with us. This interview, we would like to know more about you and especially about your career as a dancer and a musician. And we have a tradition, of course, we will start from the beginning, from the history, from your childhood. You were born in Guatemala in very artistic family.
Yes.
So please tell us about your family, about your childhood, especially back in those days when children in my childhood and your childhood, we didn't have this much facilities that the children have right now. So what was your childhood?
Oh, well, what can I say? I mean, my family is crazy. Everybody's doing something regarding talent. Like, I think all the pillar of talent is my grandpa. He is a musician. He was a musician. He used to dance, an amazing painter and sculptor as well. And from there, well, comes my parents, my mom especially. She's the reason why actually I dance or all the rest of my family dances. She's our mentor, our teacher. So as a little kid, I will be honest with you, I was more oriented to music. I never really thought that I was about to dance. I was the shyest of the family when it comes to, family parties. Every Sunday, the whole family used to gather and, have a big lunch. And then in the afternoon, it was a coffee. And then after the coffee, my grandpa used to put their old record player and play some, cumbias, mambos. And everybody was dancing. Somebody pick up a guitar. And when it comes to dancing, my sister was the first one going to dance. And then my brother. And where is Alexis? And Alexis was hiding under the table, I was super shy. I never thought that I actually was about to dance, but I was more into the music. And basically, my mom was the one who put the little seed in our heads, never forcing us to do any particular dance or anything, but she influenced us a lot, We were always surrounded by music, by dancing. And my mom was always playing different type of music at home, a lot of jazz. Basically, she was the one who who introduced me to many great jazz musicians as a kid. When it comes to dancing, my first orientation was actually street dance. As a
Street dance.
teenager, like late 80s, beginning of the 90s, more like hip hop and things like that. I kind of did that. But another thing that really changed the way I moved was martial arts. My arm was broken when I was 9 years old or so, and after that I started with karate, and that kind of really helped my coordination and as a therapy in a way. So my arm became much more stronger, and I was actually mixing different things with dancing a little hip hop, and also mixing things that I learned in karate. And so I got a lot of things with choreography since early age. And of course, in the school parties, it was very common to have in the culture nights or the culture days acts. You have to either sing or you either have to dance, or there were actually dance competitions. And my sister and I, we used to compete, and we won many times. So it was always, in my opinion, she has been in the family the greatest dancer. Okay.
You were competing which dances?
That's the thing in the school parties. They play any kind of music. So my mom, because my mom is former trained dancer, a ballerina, and also multi-talented. I cannot describe the talent of that woman. She knew so many things, and she actually used to train us. It's like, this is Charleston, and she was the one teaching us Charleston, and this is salsa, and this is this and this and that. So whenever actually in the competitions was music, you gotta be ready, because you don't know what the DJ is gonna play. So whatever is like the Tex-Mex or hip hop and then ballad, a waltz, and you gotta dance all of it. And that's basically how little by little you get. I got like into dancing different things. But as a game, I never thought I will ever do something serious regarding dancing. And my main inspiration was I always wanted to play jazz. I wanted to play saxophone and things like that. But, we didn't have so much money to spend in so many things, because we're four brothers, okay? Or 3 brothers, 1 sister. And my mom was basically the one who raised us alone, right? So basically, I wanted to play music, and I joined the school band. And in the school band, I learned to play the trumpet first. I wanted to play saxophone, but there was no saxophone left. And there was only 1 trumpet left. I said, okay, I will take the trumpet. And I started with the trumpet. And that's basically how I start to have like a formal musical training. But, I'm an ear guy. Everything that I learn is from ear. I know later on how to read, how to write, but everything is like, I used to take a flute and just put myself next to a radio, listen to music, and just follow the music. I train my ear that way since a little kid. So basically everything started that way when it comes to music. My aunt is also a great artist, a painter, and a music teacher. And she was the first one actually who introduced me to do, re, mi, fa, sol on the piano. I was a mischievous kid. I was all over the place. I used to burn things and break things. And I wasn't a bad kid, but I was very curious. I always had been very curious. And my aunt, I remember, she used to always, hey, Alexis, come over here, sit in front of the piano. And go, do, re, mi, do exercises. Stay there for 10 minutes, I come back. Then my aunt just went away, take care of, other students. And then I start to play around. Say, no, come back, show me how the lesson went. And I show, okay, good. I will show you another part. And when you're done, go and play again. And that's how actually everything was a play. My mom never forced me, in fact, to do anything like with the dance or the music. She was always encouraging me in a way, but she always gave me the freedom to express, to do things. It was very natural for me to do all these things, I bet. But the environment was very healthy, because I was surrounded by art since little kid all the time. So that's how it was. Well, it was a playground in a way.
We know how family influences a lot our cultivation, and how people choose their lifetime in the future. So coming back to your dance career, where did you get into salsa first? In Guatemala or later in other
No, no,
countries?
no. It was in Guatemala. The thing is, my mother was the one who actually opened the first official Latin dance school in my city. She's a pioneer. I mean, because of her, a lot of people came later on to teach. Like she was the pioneer. Like she teach my father how to dance. She teach me and my brothers how to dance. All my friends actually who are teachers now, they came from our school, Ritmo Latino in Antigua. So basically, I never was like eager to teach salsa or anything. You know how it is, the kids don't like the music of the parents, you know. And for me, it was like, you know, the 80s salsa was a little too cheesy. So I was more like into hip hop, more oriented into more modern type of salsa. So then new groups of salsa start to come up, like DLG and Mark Anthony. And I said, okay, this is more the sound that I like, kind of. So I used to mimic my parents' dance. Okay. Then my parents split up, and my mother didn't have a dance partner. Okay. So I will never forget that. My mom came to me because the thing is, my older brother, my older brother was studying in the afternoon. And when he was studying in the afternoon, I mean, he couldn't teach classes. He couldn't help my mom because the priority was that he has to finish school. I was a kid at the time and I was doing karate and I was doing, you know, hip hop with my friends. And my mom one day, you know, literally came to me and said, you know what do you do after school? You know, you finish school, you go home and you do homework, do karate, and then you do nothing. Let's make a deal. You know, I will teach you how to dance and how to teach, and I will pay you. And I was like, what? You know, I was 12 years old. You know, I knew already how to do the basics because, you know, from school parties, watching my parents dance. So of course I was mimicking them. I was not super passionate about it. I never thought that I had the dance in me in a way. I knew that I could dance, but never thought that the salsa will be my main thing. Never thought about it. Until my mom came to me and said, listen, come to the dance school. I will teach you how to dance and how to teach, right? And I started. And basically she used to lead herself because I didn't know how to lead. She took herself and do the spins by herself, like making me look good, you know, like, oh my God, so little kid, you know, it's dancing good. I learned that way. And basically what happened is that the school was actually going good. Then later on, my brother could join the school as well. And the school started to grow up. So my mom used to have one student. Her name was Robin, or is Robin, from the States. And she is a she. No Robin like Batman, but a Robin, lady called Robin. And I will never forget this lady. It was really sweet. And she used to be very shy and used to take private lessons with my mom daily. And I was supporting her for the classes. Until one day, my mom said to me in the class, you know, can you start the class? I need to make a phone call or something. And I was like, sure, I can do that. And I went to do the class, but I was super nervous. I never did a class alone, you know. So it's like, okay, let's do warm up. Imagine we are talking about cassettes, right? Not even CDs. We used to have cassettes.
Tapes.
Exactly. Tape. And I just play music and I was super nervous and the warm up ended. And I don't know if you can relate this kind of awkward silence that you have when two people don't know what to say. They look at each other. Yes, and I was like, you know,
I had this experience. Yes.
I could hear the crickets, the corner, you know, it's so silent. And I was sweating cold. And I said, okay, I got to do something. And I just put some music and I took her. I said, okay, let's do the class. And I start to kind of, you know, trying to correct her, like the way my mom used to move and say, okay, I think she does like this. I think she does like that. And I forgot about the time. I got so focused into the class. And I just remember I was just looking at her feet most of the time. And then I rose up my head and I was looking at the time. I was like, oh my goodness, 5 minutes to finish the class. I said, oh, wow, I did it, you know? And inside myself, I was so angry because where is my mom? You know, where did she went? You know, she just left me, you know? And I remember I put the last song. Okay, I said to her, let's do the last song. It's just social dance to review. And I push play and I start dancing with her. And and I could actually see through the hallway and the window, my mom was watching the class. And she was like testing me in a way, like, okay, she came and said, well, bravo, well done with the class. And I was so confused, and she asked the student, like, how do you think he went? And she said, yeah, he was quite nervous, but yeah, I think he did good, and I think I learned. And I said, okay, perfect, and then she booked another class and she left. And I was so angry at my mom, and my mom said, okay, you know what, don't worry, you did good. So now, you will actually handle the classes alone. I will give you some classes on yourself. And I was like, wow, and I get the freedom with the money as well. I start to kind of, help with the money to, pay the things in the house. And that's how everything began. And then later on, the school started to grow. And later on, we divided the school in three places. And I was running my own classes for a period of time before I left. So yeah, that's how I started with salsa,
But then you moved to Japan.
Yes.
Why Japan?
Actually,
You've been living there for 8 years.
yes, 8 years, absolutely correct. So the thing is, like, in my little city, if you don't know, I come from Antigua. It's a very touristic, beautiful little town. And there, my mom has been multi-talented and multi-doing things, doing theater and teaching dance, and also, bilingual. She went to a student exchange to the United States, and there I think she actually discovered the Charleston and the jazz and things like that. And that's how she started to do ballet after that. And as a bilingual person, she actually enrolled to teach Spanish. And in her Spanish school was the place where she started to teach salsa. So she used to have a very nice connection within a lot of Spanish schools. So after, when I start dancing, we start dancing, we kind of used to go to different Spanish schools to promote the classes. So in our school, we had people from all over the world without we needing to go and travel around. I remember we used to have like a mapa mundi on the wall, and we used to put pin on different countries for people that came from. And it was amazing just to see how colorful, because we had people from everywhere, literally everywhere. And I remember that there was a Spanish school dedicated to Japanese people. The school is called Atabal. I think it's still there. And Petra, which is the name of the lady, the headmaster of the school, we used to go on Sundays to teach classes there. And as a promotion, a class for free. We used to bring a boom blaster, push play to the music, and teach a class. And that's how we got a lot of good connection with Japanese people. And I've been always passionate about Japanese culture since little kid. I did martial arts. I used to do paintings of Japanese things. And I met so much good people from Japan. And I got the opportunities. I got so much people, so much connections to have the opportunities to travel. It was in 1990, 1999, when I went to Japan first time. In total, it was like 8 years that I stayed there. And the school grew up because I brought basically Ritmo Latino, was the name of the school of my mom. And then I changed to Brisa Latina, that's the name of the school. And under this kind of chapter, I did my first choreographies. I started to dance solo. I didn't have really a dance partner to shows, so I did basically solos, and I was mixing any style I could, because when I think that the thing that changed my dance life in general, because as I said, I always wanted to play music more than dancing, and the way my dance changed was when I discovered that I could use my body as an instrument, because I was like phrasing and mimicking every instrument. So I was dancing on 1, on 2, on 3 1/4, And when I discovered I had the ability to do with my body things that actually they follow the music, my dance changed completely. And of course, I got influenced by different people, but that was later. Back in the days, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have YouTube. Yes. Many people, it's easy to take for granted what they see nowadays, because back in the days, we used to crave for information. If you didn't travel, if you wasn't at the place where things were happening, you wouldn't get any kind of information. So for us was like, I mean, one of the main sources for me is my head. I listen to music and I see movements in my head, and that's basically what happens. Many people ask me, do you see dancers? Yeah, I sometimes I like to see great performers, and I get inspired by people, but I honestly don't like to see so much dancers per se, because I want to keep what I see in my head is amazing. So I don't want to spoil that. So of course you always adapt and keep trends, but it's my head basically that brings all the time together with the music. Yeah.
So do you speak Japanese?
Yes,
I do. Fluently, I mean.
そうですね。まだ覚えてると思いますけど、やっぱりここに住むとやっぱり忘れてしまう。
Okay. I hope there will be in the future some invention that I will be able to understand right away all the languages on the planet. So okay, and you were living in the country in the East with a completely different mentality. What was the most difficult for you to when you were in Japan, or what were the things that you liked the most staying in Japan? Because it's a very interesting and different country with different mentality.
Well, I mean, it wasn't so hard for me in a way, because I don't know if it's a talent or ability or it's a bless. I have this thing that I can adapt. I like taking challenges, and I like to, I mean, it's not that I like to, but sometimes you don't know how strong you can be until being strong is the only chance you have, right? Or you have sometimes just to adapt. So that's one thing, being able to adapt, and also that I'm very curious. And before I went to Japan, I met so many beautiful people from Japan. I was so fanatic of Japanese food, and I was always fascinated by the culture. So for me, being there was like a dream come true, So I got to see many beautiful places and taste amazing food. So maybe one of the things that actually, like every teenager, because I was a teenager when I was there, I got obviously homesick when it comes to Christmas time, missing my friends, my family, That was actually the hardest thing, but I think it's quite standard in my opinion. And also the food, obviously, I love food in general, so food was actually quite tough. But in exchange, I mean, Japanese food is super delicious and super healthy. So yeah, actually, for me, it was very, very amusing, and to see one of the things, like from every place in every country I have been, I think Japan is the place where I had the best customer service ever. I mean, the way they treat you as a customer and how educated they are, oh my goodness, it blew my head away. It's amazing how they are, so polite. And basically was Japan the place where I learned how to really teach. Because the students, maybe, they didn't have so much technicality, but they got a lot of information. And, that was one of the good things, that as a teacher, you cannot just simply teach lies, right? So I knew what I knew, but I was too young when I left. So basically, I didn't get enough of the information as a teacher that I wish I had. So I was in Japan, the place where I basically really learned how to develop my teaching skills. I mean, I'm passionate about teaching. I never knew that I had so much passion for it until, I start to teach, and I start to see the reflection of what I was doing or what salsa is doing to people. I mean, you will not believe the messages that I got from people telling me, thank you, you changed my life. When I heard these things for the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, this is not just a dance. This actually is transforming people's lives. So I took it that way. And that's how I discovered my mission, right? I don't dance because I want to be famous, I want to look cool. No, through the dance, I see that actually it can influence people in a very positive way. And I want to share at least a little pinch of joy that I feel that salsa gave to my life. I want people to experience that as well. So basically, I got passionate about teaching, and the students also teach me how to teach in a very indirect way, but they did. I never forget this anecdote. I was doing a step. I was doing a routine, and and all the students were struggling to do that step, and only one student kind of stopped, and he was watching me, and he was very serious watching me. He didn't do the steps, and I was like, why he's not doing the step? I felt weird. I finished this part of the routine, and I said, shitsumon garimasu ka? I said, do you have any question? And nobody said anything, just that person raised a hand. And I said, yes, sensei shitsumon garimasu. Teacher, I have a question. So, yeah, tell me. He said to me, I want to know if is this what you're teaching me is anatomically correct for my body. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, wow. And I was confused, and I didn't know what to answer. And I said to him, good question. I said, let me research a little more. Next time I will give you an answer. Okay, he said. He never came back. I felt so bad in myself because I said, I cannot do this. I need to be sure of what I'm doing. And there I took serious, like studying, I took, I went to yoga classes. I took some of ballet. I went to do flamenco, and I started to do like street jazz. I mean, that's when I start to really try to get as much influences as I could get, read books. A lot. I said I need to be a proper teacher. I cannot tell lies, right? And I took it really, really serious, and that completely changed me. Since that moment on, I changed completely.
So when the brand Alexi Style appeared at that time in Japan later, and another question also, do you like most to teach or perform? Or so you said that you like teaching a lot, but in comparison with performing, what do you prefer? For example, more teaching or performing? And tell something about the Alexi Style brand, because everybody knows that Alexi Style is all the time on the posters.
Okay, when it comes to teaching and performing, since little kid, I kind of develop in a very separate way those three things, because I think in salsa you have very important three aspects that if you really want to prevail, it's nice to develop. I don't mean that if you don't do the three of them, you will not be successful, because I know people who only dedicate to one thing and they are very successful that way. In my way, I am passionate about social dancing, okay? I am very passionate about choreographing, because it's a place where I can really unveil what's going on in my head, And then about teaching, I'm very passionate about, tutoring and teaching things. So they are very separate in a way. So it's hard for me to really pick up and say, I prefer this one, right? Because let's say when I start to choreograph, it was when I was start doing, my mom used to kind of choreograph for me in the school, but also when I did martial arts. Because I'm doing martial arts, I was very good at doing kata. And my sensei said to me, okay, I was quite young, and he saw that I had kind of talent, so I will put you in the team, in the competition team. And I was competing, I went to different international, karate events to compete. But I was very clever doing kata, because I could express things. My sister was better than me, though, because actually she did karate too, and she kicked my ass and my brother's ass too. In fact, she's a phenomenon. But anyway, I try my best, and I really learn how to memorize things and be very precise as a formation doing karate. Okay? About teaching, because when I was even dancing hip hop, I had some friends of mine that we used to have competitions between other kind of groups in school, And I remember we used to kind of, have this kind of hip hop battles. And I have a friend of mine, he's actually still a DJ Cesar. And DJ Cesar in my country, he was the first one who introduced me to what is a mixer. And he showed me how the crossfader work. And I was fascinated how he used to mix music. So I started to get into this kind of environments as a youngster. And we used to kind of battle. And this kind of battling thing gave me a lot of butterflies, that I actually felt like, okay, this is really thrilling. And I felt really free after this butterfly sensation. I feel kind of powerful in a way. So it was very, very different me teaching my friends how to kind of do things, or doing the kata and karate thing and competing and doing like karate things, and social dancing, because I used to love social dancing with my sister too, and my mom. We used to play random music and dance, random salsa and dance. So basically, I love the three of them, and especially when I perform, because when you perform, you can do so many things, but performing solo is like another level thing, because there I get the chance to blend two things that I am passionate about, two things that defines me, because I am a musician myself too. So when I dance, I manage to use my body as an instrument. So when I perform, it's like when I do solo, let's say, or even when I do every choreography I do, it doesn't follow one pattern all the time. If you see my choreographies, all of them always tell something different. Either it's a group or a couple or a solo, they're always something different, because that's how I feel the music. I will never be able to see only one pattern. So if you ask me what is the thing that I prefer the most, it's hard to say, because for me, all of them conforms who I am. Now, who I am as Alexis style, I mean, this is actually quite a funny story, because it happened in Japan. And when I was actually in Japan, I wanted to perform in one of the major events, which was the Japan Salsa Congress, but they didn't accept solos, and I didn't have a team yet. So I remember that the organizer, Mr. George Watabe, called us in Japan and tell us that actually Mr. Albert Torres, the organizer of of the Congress in general, was about to visit Japan to promote the Congress, and he was very keen Kyoto and all this like really beautiful traditional area. And because I'm bilingual or trilingual, speak Spanish, English, and Japanese at the time, it was like, okay, maybe you can actually escort Mr. Albert Torres. And it's like, wow, that would be an honor, because I never met this guy before. So he came, and in Kyoto I used to teach classes, and one of my students was an owner of very exclusive pub, like a sommelier. He was a sommelier, wine tasting, very exclusive posh club.
Yes.
And Mr. Josh Watabe, the organizer of Japan Salsa Congress, knew him. And this student of mine was planning to make an event where it's going to be Albert Torres there as a guest. And Albert Torres was with his wife at the time, Maya Torres, and they were supposed to perform. Okay. And at the time I was with my girl, and she used to dance with me as well. And I did a solo. And I remember when I went to perform, I was super nervous as well. I mean, we had to perform twice. The first time was around 10 o'clock, and the second time was around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So after the first performance, I went to eat some, barbecue with Albert Torres. We met properly, we talked about different things, and he asked me, okay, what do you do? And because he saw me dancing, said, you dance solo. There's not so many people that I know that actually in salsa, in this era, are dancing solo. And I said, well, this is not by choice. It just happened that I just had to dance solo. So we came back to the venue to perform, and he saw me nervous. And I was nervous. Come on, I was still a youngster. And the crowd was a little bit more heavy because they were drinking already. It felt a little more heavy. And he came to me and put his hand on my shoulder and said, hey, kid, I see you kind of stressed. Are you okay? He said, I see you nervous. I said, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. And he smiled at me and said, listen, don't worry. I saw you dancing. I saw what you did. It's very unique what you do. And you are very, you're very like yourself when you do your thing. So go on stage, do your Alexis thing, your Alexis style that you do, and it will be fine, So he encouraged me. I felt, okay, more confident. I went, I performed, people were happy, and everybody was happy. Then I went back to normal. I mean, back home. But before that, he said to me, why don't you perform at the Congress? And I said, no, the thing is that I don't have a partner. Yeah, why don't you do solo? No, because in the rules says that you are not accepted as a solo, only from couples and above. And he said, okay, no, I will help you to change that. And that's how they changed the rules and they start to accept solos. So I know other people who actually dance solo, but it wasn't so common at the time. So basically, I was always dancing solo, the only one in Japan at the time dancing solo. And he was the one who basically he invited me to go to Los Angeles. And I went to Los Angeles. I had a friend of mine, a student of mine, very talented, and basically we did a show, a very eccentric show mixing martial arts and salsa. He saw that in Japan Salsa Congress, and he automatically said, you know what, you gotta come to LA, because back in the days, to be able to perform in these congresses, you had to be auditioned. You had to send a tape. You had to do your show. You send a tape. They will watch it in LA, and if they think you're good enough, they will invite you to perform. Or if you have another congress in another place in the world, Albert Torres will be there, and he personally will tell you, you can come to the congress. So basically, he was in Japan. He saw me dancing with this crazy show that I did, and he said, you gotta come to LA. And that's basically how I started traveling. But when I was supposed to enter my name for the congress, you have to put your name as as an artist or a group name. And I didn't have a group name, right? So I was thinking who I am. Mambo, something. Say, I don't do only mambo. Salsa, something. Yeah, but it's not me. And then I remember what Albert Torres said, go and do your Alexis thing, your Alexis style that you do. I said, Alexis style. Alexis style. And they just put Alexis style, and that's how Alexis style happened. So it was Albert Torres who baptized me with the name. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for the story. And before going to another block of questions, I would like once again to remind our audience to put their comments and questions, and we will pass to Alexis your questions in the final part of our interview, and he will of course answer your questions. So thank you very much once again that you are with us. Subscribe to the channel. And thank you to the audience. Please subscribe to the channel and stay with us, because we will have live interviews from now on our YouTube channel. So we continue. It's a very interesting story, and of course we will stop in details on your music career a little bit later. And from Japan, you moved to Europe, to Norway, to the north. To the north. You're the hot guy from Guatemala, from Japan, in the north of Europe. How did you feel yourself in this northern country? You said actually, that there's snow right now there.
Right now, so I'm glad that I'm here in London. No, the thing is that, the real reason why I moved to Norway, because back in the days, my sister used to live in Norway too. Okay, it was my father there, my brother, and my sister. And my sister, since little kids, is the person that I feel really connected. It's like one of my best friends. So we used to dance together, and I always wanted to dance with her. And my dream was to bring her to Japan to dance. But it was really, really hard. But then I had this kind of situation that I had the chance to actually do more and leave Japan. And I was thinking where to go. And I said, Norway. Yeah, Raquel. Raquel, my sister Raquel is there. So I started to talk to her through Skype. And I started to plan the idea. Hey, listen, I'm planning to move. And I mentioned to my brother and my father, listen, I'm planning to move. And my main motivation, I wanted to dance with my sister. And the thing is that life is so ironic. When I moved to Norway, my sister have just returned back to Guatemala because, her visa expired. And we couldn't actually fulfill our dream to dance together. So I literally got stranded in Norway. So, I was there with my father, with my brother, trying to figure it out.
Huge experience of performing with your brother Jazzy Ruiz.
Oh, yes, of course.
A famous dancer. You have so many performances, and people will be able to see this media on the screen, because I also was a great fan of your shows. I know personally Jazzy, so did you perform a lot? I mean, were you invited both of you at the same time at the congresses, or it was like a coincidence that you both were there, so you were performing? How I mean, these duets took place at the congresses. You were invited both.
Yeah, basically, because my brother was already like well known in the circuit of Europe dance. I was mostly known in in the USA and in Asia, but I
Yeah.
had never really traveled in Europe. So when I basically was in Norway, because I didn't have a dance partner, my sister was not there no more. So basically, I start to dance. I had my solos, and that's how actually I start to perform, doing solos. So my solos, basically, my first event was in Hamburg. I danced solo for the first time. And there, people didn't even know that I had a brother. And then, little by little, the rumors start to spread out. This guy, is the brothers. And then something happened that my brother didn't have a dance partner, and he offered me, okay, maybe it's time for us to dance together. And then we did a choreography together, right? And that's basically how my brother presented to. I don't remember which event was the first time when we performed. I think we did first in Norway, and from there, kind of, we start traveling together. And I mean, since kids, we used to, when we were at my parents' school, we used to dance together, like for fun, because he also dance hip hop and things like that. We used to kind of dance two guys together doing choreography. And since kids, we already got that kind of tradition of doing things together. So we decided to revive that chapter, and we actually eventually start dancing together and traveling. And it was I mean, so many. I remember because most of the songs we perform, I mean, the songs, and I was planning to do the songs solo, but then I mean,
Okay.
I share with my brothers, and let's do this together, and that's basically how we combine, his knowledge and my knowledge, and boom, it just happened, the magic of performing together and traveling. So, and of course, I mean,
So many people
we come
join
from.
our live,
Oh, nice.
and they send you huge regards, best regards, people from
Oh, thank
Ukraine.
you.
And of course, we will stop also on you traveling to Ukraine. And Julia and Paul give you best
Oh,
regards,
nice.
people who invited to
Big,
Ukraine.
big love
And
to them.
Aygun from Azerbaijan also in the
Wow.
house. So best regards
Beautiful.
to Aygun. And of course, we are waiting for the questions. So now people just commenting and saying best regards. So you also, beside Jazzy, you were performing with different female partners.
Yes, correct.
And mostly you were performing with Magda Prykhodko.
Correct,
She has
yes.
the same surname. We have the same
Your sister.
surnames.
Yes.
Yeah, salsa sisters, call each other. So you were performing with her for some time. I don't know how
Correct.
many years you've been covered.
I mean, I was in party in Poland, and that's the place where we met. And it was a very memorable event, not just because of the venue. It's a salt mine, 120 something meters under the ground.
You've been
in
there twice. Yes, amazing event.
Amazing
Twice.
event. And that year, where actually I met Magda, it was also the New Swing Sextet playing. And I had met them before in LA when I saw them reunite again. And I mean, always being a fan of that group. And because I play music, and at that time, Mr. DJ Henry Knowles was basically promoting them. And when I was there, I went to Henry and said, "Listen, can I play? Can I play with them?" And he was like, "Can you play?" I said, "I think so." And he said, "It's not up to me." And Mr. George Rodriguez, big hug to him. I love that guy because he's super talented. I mean, a legendary band leader and very humble guy. This person was super humble, and he said, "Oh, let the kid play, right?" And I played with them. And when I was playing on stage with New Swing Sextet, also two other dancers jumped on stage. Mr. Mike Faya from U Tribe at the time, and Farid Salsa Conga. He was actually also, because they play. In Mike was playing timbale, Farid was playing the conga, and I was on the bongo, playing with the band. And then I saw two girls jumping on stage, and It was Claudia, and she was just dancing for a while and went down, and then was this girl, crazy girl, dancing on stage, And then Mike left the timbale and was started to dance with her, and then Farid left the congas and went to dance with her, and said, I gotta do that too, right? And I left the bongo and I went to dance with her. And because I knew this song that was actually playing was actually the last song of the set, and bam, we finished exactly at the same time that the song finished, and the people were, wow. And that's how I met Magda for the first time. It was dancing with Magda. And my brother,
she moved to Norway, right?
Because
from Poland.
Exactly. And my brother watching the whole thing, because I didn't have a dance partner at the time. So my brother wanted me to have a dance partner. And when he saw me dancing with Magda, he said, this will be your dance partner, he said. So my brother, because he actually, was co-owning a school, he said, okay, I will scout her. And he went to talk to her on a Sunday night of the event. And he proposed the idea, hey, we need a dance partner and another teacher to teach lady styling. Would you be interested? And Magda was like, okay, let's think about it. And she was planning to come the year after in April. But then my brother ended up without a dance partner because his dance partner went back to New York, and he needed desperately a dance partner. So instead of Magda coming in April, she came in December. And Magda was like, okay, she stopped all the projects and she moved to Norway to support for the open week in the school. And of course, my brother had other events where he has to actually, dance. So he said to me, brother, I'm sorry, you will have to wait to perform with Magda. I have to do a choreography because I have events that I have to cover up. Since you have solos, maybe you can survive with your solos. I said, oh, it's no problem. I can wait, I do my solos. And they did actually dance first. And at the time, I met Rocio from Spain in Marrakesh, the same year of the event in Poland. And she came to Norway, and my brother offered her job too. So it was Magda and Rocio working in the same school at the same time, and was basically on the Nordic Salsa Experience event, like the Norwegian Salsa Congress, in 2000, which year? I don't remember exactly which year it was, but I had to perform twice. I did a show with Rocio and I did a show with Magda. And this show that I did with Magda was the cha-cha-cha show that many people love. And I did a show with the Rocio, a salsa show, which is all white. And that's basically my official, I end up with two dance partners at the same time, by chance.
So, but mostly when I was traveling a lot and I mostly watched your shows with Magda, and you've been to Ukraine with Magda as well. So
yes.
You've been to Ukraine several times with Magda and alone, as far as I know.
Yes.
You've been to Kiev and Lviv and maybe other cities that I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so as far as being Kiev and Lviv, those two places in Ukraine that I've been visiting a few times. I mean, Lviv was only one time, but in Kiev I had been a few times already, and I had this amazing connection with Paweł and Julia, the organizers of Salsa Majovka, and that's how I basically connect so well with Ukrainian people. Lovely people, amazing energy, very dedicated students. My goodness. And with Magda we had so much great time performing, traveling, and we did a lot of really, really good pieces together, and very memorable pieces as well. People still remember, very keen. And we connect very well with the people while teaching, because our philosophy of teaching is basically we want to teach people things that are functional. No jibber jabber, no hocus pocus, but things that actually, the things we dance socially with everybody is the things that actually we like to teach. That's my philosophy. I don't teach choreography in congresses. I like to teach social dance. And that's the philosophy basically. It's things that everybody can do, right? And we connect very well, very spontaneous, like, social people in general. So yeah, it has been definitely a great chapter, dancing together.
And Paweł and Julia right now give you best regards. We love you. Viva Salsa Majovka. Ustedes son los mejores. So you're always welcome. We are waiting for you here after quarantine. I hope we will be able to see each other face to face.
Yes.
And I remember that you are a great social dancer. You are my one of my favorite social dance partners as well,
Shit.
because this kind of connection, your attitude towards every partner is amazing. So you are like dancing till the end of the party. I know that you are a
That's me.
dedicated social dancer. Yes. So we do hope you enjoyed Ukraine, and you will be able to travel more around the world and visit our country as well.
Indeed.
And now you, as far as I know, you have your own show team.
Yes.
Allure, correct pronunciation.
Allure, correct. Allure
Allure.
dance company. Correct. Allure.
So
Yes.
who are these people? Is it professional dancers or it's your students? And do you still perform together? Because you have really amazing shows with bright costumes, interesting concept of the shows on different
Thank you.
events.
Yes, actually, Allure is a dance. It's not a dance group. It's a dance concept. I'm the head of the concept. So basically, Allure, I see the compilation of like orchestration of my choreographies that I not normally do solo, that I cannot do solo, I cannot do in couple. Everything that is a story in my head that I can put in a colorful group. That's basically what Allure is. So in the members are both students and also they are not professional dancers, but they are basically very keen to dance. They have also long. Some of them have been dancing for a long time as well. Very dedicated people, and it was very nice for me to be able to craft and put my musicality concepts and different ideas with them. So before that, of course, I had other projects going on, but later on, by pure chance, they wanted to continue dancing with me, and they said, okay, let's do a group together, and I just went to continue doing the choreographies. I mean, I have different choreographies with them already, and of course, members have been switching. And now that I'm in London, I'm planning to reboot the project with different people over here as well, because I still have so much in my head that I need to portray. But basically, the group is still on. Many of them are teachers and teaching and also performing. And one couple, I mean, I'm very proud to say that actually they are the. I'm personally, I'm really not a keen person to compete, but I've been choreographing for the Norwegian champions now, and these guys are actually were part of my group. They are continue dancing and they are doing great in their dance career, and it's very very flattering to see basically that from there they kind of launch themselves to become better teachers and better dancers. So if I could have helped a little bit for them in their careers, that's basically very rewarding, because at the end of the day, I think that's the purpose, right? Give people joy and give them the tools for them to enjoy the dance. So Allure Dance Company, as I said, is the concept of basically me portraying my ideas, my crazy ideas and musicality on stage in a group. Yeah.
What is the formula of the successful show? What is your formula of successful show?
I mean, there is a successful formula, but one thing, in my opinion, that is my personal formula. First ingredient, for sure, is the music. I know people who choreograph by counting and by just technicality, and it's amazing what they do, and I respect that. It doesn't work for me. For me, is the music, okay? And also never put boundaries in your head, right? I see something crazy in my head, and maybe it cannot be done, and sometimes my group have to suffer because I have to put them to do crazy things. But at the end of the day, when you truly believe in something you see in your head, you truly believe, don't be unencouraged by that. So one of the tricks I said, you have to dedicate, you have to train a lot, because it's not just simply that you put people talented on stage and they will do something amazing. As a leader, you have to really train them and have a very solid concept and integrity of what you do, right? You have to have a solid vision of that. And, at the same time, you have to believe in yourself. And music-wise, it's the music for me who decides what to do. It's the music that always choreographs for me rather than me choreograph the music. I only do what the music tells me to do. Basically, that's my formula, in fact.
So after your cooperation with Magda, from that time until now, you have a permanent dance partner.
Exactly. My dance partner. Hold on, just I need to flip my position.
So my you dance. Catherine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she has been my very first dance partner ever in Europe. I mean, first was my sister, and then was Catherine. I mean, she's like my sister. I love that girl. She's so talented, and really, really. I mean, we still, after 10 years, knowing and dancing with each other. I mean, we keep cooperating, and we have so many, projects going on. And despite the distance, because she has been kind of, how can I say, dancing with different people, like dancing with Marco Ferrigno, dancing with Latin soul dancers, which is basically Adolfo Indacochea. We always kept cooperating with each other, right? I got my projects, my dance partners, but we always kept connected in a way. So it has been an amazing chance for us to work together. And then, we decided to continue cooperating. And at this point, we are dancing and teaching together. So basically, one of the reasons why I moved to London is because she's here now. And also, my wife.
From Ukraine, right? She has an origin.
Exactly. I mean, she was born in Germany, but her parents are from Ukraine. Lovely people. I know them. So amazing people. And she's an amazing dancer. I mean, when I met her, she was like 17 or so, and she was studying ballet. And we did our first performance that is still like a classic. Till this day, people still asking for that show. We connect in such a special way. So I'm very glad that we always kept working, and now that we are in the same city, teaching and performing together. I mean, I'm really, really glad for that. To have this chance again to work again.
So regards to Catherine, I also met her once. In person. Very, very charming girl. We spoke in Russian, so
yes,
it was
very
Russian, pleasant conversation.
Italian, French, English, German. I don't know. She's crazy.
So moving to the next block of questions about your music career, we would like to stop on that topic as well. I would like to ask you a question that is very important, and probably a lot of people were asked on their way to share their goals. Do you have any fears in your life, and what are the things that makes you happy right away? I mean, these things, please share with us. Do you have any fears?
Fears, it's not really fears per se, but one thing that actually definitely frightens me in a way is like getting stuck doing only one thing, because that's the thing with me. It's like I think I will be able to do this for life, because I don't get bored by only doing one thing. I have so many things that involves my career that keep me always, like, if I get a little tired here, I move over there. If I get a little tired of this, I move over here. So many people say, you should actually dedicate to only one thing so you can be more successful. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't do this for being successful. I do this because it makes me happy, So basically for me, like, the moment when I feel that I'm not taking any chances, that makes me very concerned, because one of the reasons why I was able to grow in so many aspects in my life is because I always dare to take chances, Maybe sometimes I dare too much, but at the same time, the reward is big, because no one will be able to take away the experience that I went through in so many things and many chapters in my life, And at the end of the day, the result is, or the purpose is very simple. You want to grow and you want to be happy. And you will never be able to grow and be happy if you don't bump on the road and make mistakes, right? It's part of development as a person, as an artist. You have to take chances, right? That's basically what I always did and I keep doing. I mean, look at me. I'm in London. What am I doing in London? You know, I could be like, having a big studio, but I don't want to lock myself in a place where actually I do a routine. I'm not there yet. I still have so much creativity and so many, passions in my heart to move, to do, to experience. And, that's one of the things with my dance career. I stopped traveling for quite a while already, but I had the chance really to dedicate to other side of my career, like my music and the sound and these things that actually I've been doing for quite a while already. And I'm retaking the dance again. So it's like, maintaining a good balance in my development as an artist, which for me is very, very important, to dedicate good time to different areas that needed some attention, because I had been really for a long time doing too much dance, and I didn't do my music, I didn't do other things, I didn't take education that I wanted to take, which finally I got the chance to do and to dedicate properly to that, which I'm very glad I did, in fact. Yes.
And now we will finally will come to the block that Alexis is a musician and I am a singer, and I feel a huge respect to the people who dedicate their life to the music, who are very creative, who create their own music, who make something new all the time, develop themselves. So it's not a secret that you write your own music, salsa music. Correct. And you play so many instruments. So you already mentioned that you were a child and you dreamed to be you dreamed to play jazz. So now please tell us about Alexis as a musician. How many instruments do you play?
I've been having these questions already a few times, and
because I play only accordion. I played accordion in school, and not be able to play as I did. So I saw pictures that you play so many instruments. I'm like, wow, he plays so many instruments. I forgot everything. So.
I mean, for me, the instruments that I really feel like I can truly express myself, I will say, is two instruments where actually I can really unleash myself, like my correct. First is the conga. I play all the percussion instruments, but the conga, I have this really, really intimate relation with the conga because it's skin to skin. And I was always, when I started playing and learning how to play percussion, I always was intimidated by the conga. I first started playing timbales, and then I played bongo, and I started to play bongo because I wanted to learn how to play conga. The conga is not that I didn't understand how to do it, but it's you really have to dedicate. If you really want to make that instrument talk, you need to dedicate. Because it's a timbale, you have a stick, you need technique for that, but you hit it and it sounds. A conga, my teacher in Cuba said to me, the conga first will hurt you, and then you will hurt the conga, and then you will talk. You will be able to talk with the conga, So, and I understood that because it's a process you have to go through. You have to teach yourself to educate your hands, not to hurt yourself and not to hurt the conga, but to be able to establish a conversation, right? And to be able to dominate. It's like a horse. You have to learn how to dominate an instrument to make it talk, right? And when I managed finally to be able to express my emotions while playing conga, it just blew my head away. And then, of course, was the piano. I love the piano. With the piano, I can really put in perspective harmonies, melodies, and how I feel in the music, the mood of the music, because the conga basically express a very raw emotion, but then the piano, you have moods. You can express mood. You express the harmony, the melody, melancholy, happiness. So those two instruments for me are quite, the foundation of what I. But on top of that, of course, since a little kid, I was always passionate about saxophone. So I learned to play the trumpet first, and then I learned the saxophone. I played the flute. When it comes to percussion, bongo, timbales, congas, and then I learned tambora from Dominican Republic to play merengue, guira, guiro, maracas. all those little teeny tiny Latin toys. And then, of course, I bought myself a trombone. One of my best friends from the first band I ever had, because I own a band called Fori Ballet. The one of the key members, a trombone player, he's very successful trombonist now, a jazz trombonist, Kevin Hicks. He was the one who introduced me to how the trombone works. And I got passionate about the trombone because also salsa music, the salsa sound, is trombone. So I started to dig into playing trombone. So I bought myself a trombone and kind of learn how to play by myself. Of course, the guitar, I learned to play in my country, both electric and acoustic, and contrabass. I always been also passionate about contrabass, and salsa sound. You can have electric bass, which sounds cool, but nothing can compare with a double bass. So I got myself a double bass, and I always been fanatic of mullets when it comes to vibraphone, the sound of vibraphone, but also because I used to play marimba at my aunt's marimba group at her gallery in my country. So I learned how to play marimba, and due to that, I dared myself to buy a vibraphone. So I play the vibraphone. What else? One thing I haven't tried is how to play cello and violin. That I didn't try yet. But then I tried different other instruments. But the thing is, the instruments that I play myself in my productions is basically all Latin percussion, piano, contrabass, saxophone, flute. So those are basically the instruments that I represent in the music that I produce. Yeah.
You already mentioned that you had a chance to play on this stage with a New Swing Sextet, and I remember when you've been to Ukraine, you also came to the stage and you were playing with Ukrainian salsa band Dislocados.
Oh yes, of course, I played with Dislocados too. True that.
And we have this video as
really?
well.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Amazing.
And now I would like to best regards to you from the conga guy from Dislocados. He is now watching us. Alexander.
Big hug to him. Oh, yes, nice. Big hug to Alexander.
Best regards.
Oh, nice.
So I remember this. It was Salsa Mayovka, and they were playing live.
Correct, Salsa Mayovka. I've been having so much blessing to be able to be on different stages in salsa, where there have some musicians playing, and they feature me a few times to just jump on stage and play with them, to dance and play with them. And it has been an amazing experience to share the stage in different ways. Like in Norway, I've been playing with a group called Sonora Cimarrón. This group, it's like a banda orchestra, big orchestra. And there with them, I play both güiro, singing the chorus, playing bongo, playing conga, playing timbale. And of course, there have been other groups that I kind of helped to create and to compose music for them, arrange music with them. So that actually has been helping me a lot to form my music career, and to get the knowledge to produce for myself as well. That's why I started making music, was not just because I wanted to be a musician, but mainly because I wanted to have music for shows. That's how I started to play DJ myself as well. Because back in the days, there was no chance to have a song 2 minutes and a half. If you want to do a show, you have to do a show 6 minutes. You have to use the full song. And, when I first started to see these shows in 1998, 1999 from the congresses in Puerto Rico, and I started to hear how the dancers in LA were mixing music, I was like, okay, I gotta learn how to do that. So the first time I mixed songs, I had to ask a DJ Angel, he's Cuban Canadian, living in Japan, a good friend of mine. He was the first one editing my music. And then I said, no, I gotta do it myself because I only know how I want to make my music. So I started to mix. I bought myself a mixer and CD recorder, and I started to experiment how to mix music for my shows. And then I found a wall where I didn't have the sound that I wanted. So I said, I gotta record music for my own shows. And that's how everything started. So my first composition was basically that I did. And it was basically over, 10 years ago or so, 9 years ago. I was invited to perform in London, and the organizer of this event said to me, can you do a solo where you play music live? So he gave me the idea. I said, okay. And I produced a solo where I make the music, and I performed that show and just become a standard. Then I did that song. I kind of borrowed to the project that I had with Magda. So we did one of our shows using that song, which is basically my solo. And this solo I keep doing till this point. And I continue doing that, producing music for my dance career. I see music and I see dance, so I had to put it together.
So you write music, your tracks are played on salsa congresses also, and you also perform under your own music. What are your ambitions and dreams in terms of music career for the future?
Well, I still have so many projects going on. One of the very successful projects I have going on now is with DJ Dimitri. Very talented DJ, a very nice soul, very kind soul. This guy one day came to me and said, listen, I have an idea. I see some songs, standard songs that I would like to make salsa, and would you like to cooperate and do a project together? And I was like, you know what, let's do it. And all started as fun, just to produce for ourselves, and it turned out to be a really success. So we did two, and now the third production is on the way. Obviously, everything is in halt now due to the Corona situation. But as soon as this is over, the next project is going to be both featuring playing together, and of course, I have so much material, unreleased material already made, that I just need to, master and release. And of course, I want to continue doing. I want to revive the project that I started in Japan, which is my own Latin jazz band that I had at the time in Japan. The musician was superb, and I want to do that project back again. And of course, continue with doing my music for my dance and my team as well. So, and keep taking chances, because I'm here now. I don't know for how long. My project here is kind of going very good, very successful. Been working with very nice people like Funky Mambo people, Irene Miguel. I've been working with her as well. A big shout out to them, because also they are giving me the opportunity also to show what I can do with my dancing and my teaching. So I'm very glad to be here, and also the energy of the city is very inspiring, because everything, so many things are happening. The salsa scene in this city is huge. So everywhere you go, there's so much stuff, very inspiring people. And I'm just simply, very thrilled about all the opportunities that has been just appearing in my career, in my life, and not just going in one linear way, going in different perspectives and fulfilling different aspects of my life, which I'm very, very glad that is happening that way,
And I would like to mention to our viewers that you are also a sound producer. Tell us briefly about this part of your music occupation. So you already work as a sound producer at some big studios, because there are a lot of pictures in Facebook. Facebook can reveal all the secrets.
Okay. The thing is that due to the fact that when I started producing music, I didn't have a school. Everything was self-taught. I bought books, I bought this. I was talking to musicians, to friends. They kind of guided me in a way, but I knew that I was lacking proper technical training, how to master, how to mix properly. And I said to myself, I gotta take education. So I went to take a bachelor program in sound engineering, but it was not only for sound, it was for sound for TV and film. So I got to really expand the spectrum, because I am very passionate about visual arts as well. So I was so fascinated, because when you watch films, you watch the films, and I don't know if you pay so much attention what's going on with the sounds, but when you listen to a great film, you don't perceive the sound, means the sound is good. Because if you don't feel anything going wrong with the audio, means it's great. So I was always fascinated by what's going on behind the scenes. So when I went to take this education, it changed the perspective of how I hear music, how I see music, how I see films. So in that project, in taking this education, I met amazing people that they were nowadays are great producers, also filmmakers, and we got a really great connection. So I got the chance to expand, to collaborate with them, making sound design, being on locations, doing like independent films, and also composing, sometimes composing even music for them. So it has been an amazing experience that I got the chance to combine both, the sound that I have, and also to also produce film, because I also produced one of my music videos for my most recent production. I directed and co-directed and produced that film, that video, and I had working with me an amazing team, like my sound guy, Mr. Hokon, if I know he's watching me. We studied together, amazing guy. Ida, also she's a great filmographer and producer, and other people has been involved in the project, working together. So I'm very glad to be able to expand that side of my career as well, and combine it also to my dancing and my music. So yes.
So I would like to wish all the best to all these kind of things that you do in terms of music, as a musician and sound producer, and all the best. I'm sure, taking into account the person you are, you all the time develop yourself, you learn. I'm sure you will have a huge success. Talented people are talented in everything. So coming to the final part of the interview, I would like to mention that you met your second half. You have a beautiful wife.
Correct.
She is a dancer, and you are dancing together with now in some projects.
Correct. She's crazy because she's a photographer. She's studying law, psychology, and tap dancer, jazz dancer. She's doing many things. And basically, we met in a dance production where she was doing tap and I was dancing salsa. And we met in the rehearsals, but at the same time, she was actually taking photographies for the studio where I was working at the time. And we have the same kind of hobbies. We love like jazz music and all the retro films. And I'm very passionate about tap, because all the time I have been inspired by tap dancers like Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, and the Nicholas Brothers, and all these amazing things. And to be able to learn this side, because I never had the chance to learn all this like foundation of many salsa steps that actually are created, are based on many tap dance moves. So we got to share a lot about these things, and she teach me how to dance tap. I teach her how to dance salsa. She's an amazing teacher herself on what she's doing. And she got the chance also to join my team, so she's performing in my team as well. And we combine different things for her filmography, videography, and photography, and my sound, and we combining different projects together. She's organizing a tap festival with jazz bands and musicians and dancers. And the way I start to cooperate with her, being the sound engineer for her festival, putting microphones for the floor for the dancers, miking the whole band, and it has been a great project that we both managed to cooperate together. And one thing led to the other, and we have been together for the past 5 years, and we're being married now. We marry each other in Gibraltar, and we have a great time combining our careers, so enriching each other. So this is really rewarding. Very rewarding chapter in my life, which I'm really happy about it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And we have a question. There is a question for you. You have so many projects, so many different projects. Whether you had some time when you had some like sadness and personal crisis that you wanted to quit everything, because sometimes you're like overwhelmed with everything.
Yes. Of course, I mean, of course, in life is not always color of roses, and I'm being tested in so many different ways. One thing I can mention is like exactly a little more than a year ago, I had a horrible accident. I had over 10 fractures in my body, internal bleeding in my head, a rib broke and punctured my lung, and I was in rehab for quite a while. And I thought, okay, my dance is over, my dance career is over. And I don't know, like life doesn't want me to quit dancing, and here I am performing, teaching, and salsa has been always in every single chapter of my life. When I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I've been challenged, salsa has always been there for me. So I don't think I will be able to quit on salsa. Also because your body, your physical status will change through the time. So I will not be able to perform, let's say, from here in some years. If something happened, but I will never be able to stop, let's say, playing music or choreographing or doing things or teaching. So I will always somehow, some way be related to salsa, because it's been always a part of my life since I'm a little kid. It basically formed me. It formed me and gave me so many chances and so many beautiful opportunities in my life. It has been changing my life, and I can see how much positive side has as well in changing and giving positivity to many other people. So it's always gonna be there, regardless. So I never thought that I will ever quit, and I never get bored of it, because I had this blessing of doing different things in but not only just dancing, doing music or choreographing. I never get bored of it. I'm so fascinated by it every time. I do something new. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Alexis, your story is very fascinating and very impressive. So you told so many interesting things. So we do not have so many questions from the audience. They just comments like expressive comments like "wow" and giving you best regards. So in the final part, usually we have a tradition to ask the final question to our guests. How you manage to handle everything, because you have so many things you are involved in, and what is your personal formula of success?
In general, I don't. One thing I learned, and this is very important, because sometimes creativity or the inspiration is something that comes and goes. When I produce music, it's sometimes I got an amazing idea, and if I don't catch it at the time, it goes. But I don't try to push myself if I don't feel it. So for me, the most important thing is to be able to follow how I feel at the time. So my formula basically is based on that. I want to take it as it comes and keep it natural, because then I don't have to be like concerned that I cannot produce choreography now, or I have to teach classes here and there. So it has been very important for me to take as it comes, as I feel, right? Take it the situation as it comes. And this is not about, it's not about how talented you are or how strong you are or how smart you are, but it's about how flexible and how adaptable you are. You have to learn how to adapt through time. This is one of the key things that I think it can be applied to any person in any kind of environment. You have to learn how to adapt. And this is one of the things that has been helping me in my career, that I always you gotta be very intuitive and see what's going on and adapt to the changes, right? And adapt to the situations, to the environments. And that's the only way you can actually continue to prevail. Not just to maintain, to grow, but to prevail, which is the hardest part, because many people reach on top and many times it just after a while disappear because they don't have the foundation. You gotta be patient to nurture yourself, to educate, to prepare yourself. and to learn how to adapt. So that's what basically has been helping me. And my mom has been mentoring me very positively in a way that, prepare yourself, be humble, and always think about sharing from your heart. Don't do this for a false kind of, vague type of fame or your vanity, but give it because you feel it. If you don't feel it, then it's not meant to be, right? So take it as it comes, dedicate yourself, and be ready to adapt. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Alexis. I would like to tell to our audience that this is Alexis Ruiz, a multi-talented person, the person who can probably make everything. He develops himself all the time. He likes to learn. He's a great dancer, one of the most beloved social dance partners in the world. I know this. And he is a great choreographer and musician, who multi-instrumentalist, right? This is more correct description. So I would like to thank you for this interesting
really
and true story about your life. I'm sure this story, I'm sure that people who are not able to be with us live, they will watch it and they will be inspired by your story, like I'm inspiring myself sitting right now and charging from via my screen from you. Thank you very much. I
thank
wish
you so much.
All the best, to be healthy for your family, to stay healthy, and to all our viewers. And I do hope we will be able to see each other.
Hopefully too, not virtually, but face to face, like we used to do before Corona started. So I know many things will change from now on, but we have to keep positivity and think that everything was okay, so we can go back to normal and be responsible with each other, caring for each other, and staying safe. Okay, being responsible, staying safe, very important now if you want to go back to normal soon, right? So to all of you who are watching us, thank you so much for tuning in, and I wish all of you health, that you stay safe, and that you are happy, you find happiness in whatever you do, right? And keep dancing salsa, keep loving salsa. Salsa is a global thing. You don't need to be Ukrainian, you don't need to be Latino. It's a global thing. And if you feel it in your heart, it doesn't matter if you don't understand or don't understand the lyrics. If you feel the music and you let it touch you, it will change your life. So big hug to all of you salsa lovers, and stay safe. And to you, Olga, so nice to see you, and thank you for the opportunity, and hope to see you very soon again. All right?
Thank you very much. And this is Social Talks on Universo Latino channel. I would like to remind you to subscribe to our channel and to join us, because all the live interviews will be on our YouTube channel, and we are waiting for all of you next Wednesday. We have in our live interview studio next guest, it's Rinaldo Paul, the person who was a pioneer in the Latin American community in Ukraine, who was at the origins of the salsa movement in Ukraine, the teacher, el maestro de los maestros en Ucrania. Probably Paul was the teacher of all of our salsa dancers here. Probably most of the salsa dancers in Ukraine were attending Paul's salsa studio, and then they opened their own studio. So I'm sure it will be also interesting talk. So join us next Wednesday in Social Talks Universo Latino channel, YouTube. Bye. Thank you. Hello, my name is Olga Prykhodko. I've been dancing and singing salsa for many years. While I was traveling a lot, participating in numerous dance and music events around the world, I met stars in the world salsa community, whom I would like to introduce in my new project called Social Talks. I will be interviewing famous people and representatives of Latin American culture, and they will share their experience, they will tell about their ups and downs, and of course, they will inspire you. Subscribe to our channel Universo Latino on YouTube and other social networks and find a lot of interesting and useful information. Get closer to the stars who inspire you. Salsa unites people.